Hey everyone, Shane here with etrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the etrailer.com 2,500 pound winch. Now if you've had an ATV before without a winch, or ATVing is something new to you, adding a winch on is going to save you a lot of trouble when trying to do a lot of different things. For instance, if you're a hunter, I've had situations where I've been out hunting on my in-laws property. They don't have a winch. Trails only go so far. Well, what if the deer falls, down in the woods? Now you have to get 3 or 4 people to drag the deer up to where you are. If you had a winch, you can stretch it out and you don't have to use all that muscle and energy trying to get that deer out of the woods. Maybe you like to go four-wheeling, go out riding with a bunch of friends. Maybe you get stuck in the mud somewhere. Pull this out, wrap it around a tree, and you can pull yourself out of the mud without having to rely on somebody else to pull you out. Maybe you want to pull a friend out. This is a way to not only pull yourself, but help the friend pull themselves out. This is what our winch looks like when it's installed. It's going to fit right in this area on your ATV. It's going to come with a bracket to mount the winch to the plate, and then mount your fairlead to the plate. However, depending on how your bike is set up, it may require an additional bracket. You can find those here at eTrailer. It's going to come with a polished aluminum fairlead because it is a synthetic rope. It's going to have rolled edges or smooth edges so that it doesn't snag the rope itself. The casing for the motor is going to be a very durable casing. It's going to keep dust, dirt, debris, and some strong water spray from getting into the motor causing any damage. This is a free spool design. Right over here on this side, there's a little lever, and it allows you to pull your rope out by hand. So let's say our bike breaks down, but we still have battery powered where we can use our winch. You pull that lever, and it allows you to pull this rope out, wrap it around whatever you need to wrap it around to get yourself out of the hole. Another nice thing about it is it has a brake in it. So what that means is, again, let's say we're broke down but we still have battery power. We go to wrap it around a tree and we release the brake on the bike itself. The winch has a brake in it, so it won't allow the bike or the spool to release or to allow the bike to roll down a hill. It'll hold it in place. Keep in mind, if you want it to lock, you have to make sure, if you have it on free spool, you lock the free spool back into place. To release a free spool, you simply pull out and twist. A rope is going to have a nice cover on it, so when we go to wrap it around a tree or something like that, we don't have to worry about the rope getting damaged. And as I mentioned, this is 50 foot long, so we have plenty of rope to reach where we need to go. One thing to keep in mind, when you unroll it, if you're rolling it all the way, make sure it has 1 or 2 turns around the wheel so it has a good tight hold. When you have your line rope tight, it's a good idea to add on a line brake. And this is with any winch or any rope that whether it's wire or rope, so that if you're on the bike and you're pulling yourself up, if that line breaks for any reason, it doesn't come back and hit you. This is also going to come with a switch. It's going to have a durable plastic housing. We're not going to have to worry about water or anything getting in there, damaging the electrical components. The switch itself is going to have a nice rubber coating on it. So again, we don't have to worry about water or anything. If our hands are wet pushing the button, we don't have to worry about water getting in there. It's also going to come with a bracket, so we pretty much universal. We can mount it anywhere on our handlebars. Now it's a good idea when you're rolling it back in, keep the line taut. Have a pair of gloves on so you can hold on to the rope, doesn't tear up your hands. It's going to be a 1 horsepower motor. It's going to work with 12 volt DC batteries. It's going to have 135 amps of draw at 2,500 pounds of line pull. It's going to be a planetary design. It's single stage planetary, which is different than your wormhole, your typical wormhole. Wormhole is basically a bolt that goes through, it's got a crank on it, and when your motor kicks in, that crank grabs on, and it allows you to pull, use the winch. Being a single stage planetary, it's going to have a crank, but it's going to have several little ones inside, so that when that motor kicks in, it acts as a train, and it allows that motor to work that line much faster than a single wormhole. That's going to do it for a look at the etrailer.com 2,500 pound winch.